Hey guys, welcome back and happy Easter to you all. I thought now was a great time to get out some of my Doctor Who Easter merchandise, so I've displayed it on the top shelf behind me. Talking about the episode Lux, from my initial thoughts really, I do feel it was slightly overhyped, I will be honest. There wasn't too much I was looking forward to going into the episode, and all I heard was good reviews, which was good to hear, but I think it did raise my expectations probably a bit too high, so I was left not feeling disappointed, but I do feel it was slightly overhyped. I also do feel Lux was sort of defeated quite easily. He's probably one of the easiest gods that have been defeated. And if I'm being completely honest, it's going to be very controversial, but I think I enjoyed the Robot Revolution more than this. Although saying that, this episode had some really big twists and turns. I really like the vibe that this episode sort of set out, and it gave some of the biggest fall breaks ever. It was one of the times that I've been most shocked from Doctor Who when they come out the TV. So yeah, my initial thoughts was slightly overhyped, but it was still a very enjoyable episode. But upon rewatch, I did change my mind slightly. I thought the opening scene was quite cool. Again, watching the Atom Bomb film and then Ring-a-Ding, I'd really liked what they'd done. It was slightly different to what they've done before. Yeah, really cool scene, that opening scene. It really felt like you were in the cinema, seeing all those people watching it. So I really liked the sort of vibe and tone they set out for that episode at the beginning. That was really cool. And then also after the TARDIS sequence, we hear a bit about Belinda's family, which is nice because we haven't heard or seen anything of them. It's quite unusual for us to not have seen any sort of family of a companion, really, in the first few episodes. Normally they come in the first episode. I know Dan's family we met in the second episode, so it's unusual we haven't met any of their family. Of course we've met some of Belinda's roommates, but they're not exactly her family. So yeah, interesting that we got to hear a bit more about them, and it's nice to hear that she wants to get home to them as well. And also in this scene is where we saw the Vindicator, quite a cool device. We saw that from leaks quite a while ago, so it's great to see what it finally is, and yeah, it certainly looks like a cool device. As some of you might have seen from the preview we were given a few weeks ago from another TV show showing Doctor Who, I believe it was one of the American sort of talk shows, we saw that we got a sort of a repeat of the changing clothes scene that we had in like The Devil's Cord, but with Belinda. That was quite cool. I liked how they repeated that because that was one of my favourite scenes from The Devil's Cord, and to be honest, the whole of season 1, to be fair, because I really liked that scene. So it was great they sort of replicated it but changed it up a bit, and it was great to see the TARDIS doors actually open on the inside. We haven't really seen them open, so that was a nice touch as well. What I love about Belinda as well, talk about this episode, is Belinda. What I do like is how she has a different perspective. So I really liked how she was talking about how, because they're time travellers, isn't it weird how they know what happens to the person? So I like how Belinda's bringing a sort of different perspective. So that's really cool, and I really did enjoy that. And I really do like, of course, it being sort of a cartoon episode, all the references back to Scooby-Doo. I thought that was really cool because I do love Scooby-Doo. So to have those references in Doctor Who was really cool as well. And the diner scene as well, I spoke about the vibes earlier. That was another one which gave really great vibes. I am a bit confused as to why those people were out so late, 4 o'clock in the morning. Especially, I know the woman looked for her son, maybe she was there waiting, but why was that place even open? It doesn't make sense, it was quite empty. But yeah, talk about the diner anyway. The vibes were, I really liked the vibes as well, and I really liked how the Doctor sort of addressed the racism. I liked how the racism was done in this episode, because unlike an episode like Rosa, it wasn't the main priority, but I do like how it was addressed, and I liked how the Doctor explained to Belinda how he can just get on with it. So all of that was really cool, and I'm really glad the characters actually bent the rules. Is obviously what they should have done anyway. So that was really cool, and yeah, they were all really great scenes, really. And it's here where I sort of got certain vibes from certain other episodes of spin-offs. Now, if you think about it, I really do feel like the scene where the Doctor was talking to the mum really remind me of Warriors of Kudlak from the Sarah Jane Adventures. The way the mum was looking for her son and the son went missing. That sort of gave me that sort of spin-off vibes. And the whole sort of cinema thing with the film and then being trapped in the film really gave me from Out of the Rain vibes from Tortured as well. And I felt like it lent in quite a lot into that episode, which was nice to see. Of course, they're both made by Ross T. Davis, so yeah, really cool to see how they sort of linked, and I thought, yeah, this really reminds me of that, but just Doctor Who version, so that was cool. Some other bits I want to point out from this episode, I really do find it funny how Belinda thinks that just being called the Doctor is ridiculous. I thought her reaction to that was quite funny. And just going back briefly to the diner as well with the mum, I really liked how she saw the TARDIS and saw it as a pillar of hope. Even though she didn't know, obviously, it was a TARDIS, she just thought it was a standard police box. I really liked how she saw it as a pillar of hope and how the Doctor sort of used that as motivation as well. And I loved how she hoped it and then it actually happened where her son come back. So I thought that was such a nice little thing in the episode, which was really sweet as well, actually. And I really did like how when the son actually come back at the end of the episode, it was such like a heartwarming thing, and it was quite sad and it was lovely. So yeah, that sort of mini thing happening in the episode was really sweet. Now, talk about one of the main characters themselves, Mr. Ring-a-Ding. I thought Alan Cumming did a brilliant job at the voice of that. I just felt like he really separated himself from Alan Cumming to Ring-a-Ding. I thought they were like two separate people, which I wasn't surprised he would do because obviously he's really good at that sort of thing. But yeah, it was brilliant to see that, and I thought he did really well with that. Mr. Ring-a-Ding as well, I loved how he was not celluloid. I liked how he was made of light. That was really cool. And I also really like as well how the giggle sort of felt more natural in this, whereas the Devil's Call it didn't really link, but whereas Don't Make Me Laugh and then the giggle and then that sort of being the harbinger thing, so I loved how all of that linked. I felt it was more natural than in the Devil's Call, so I really like that. What I don't really feel is right though is how he said he was the heart of the Pantheon. I don't feel like he would be. If anyone, it'd be the toy maker, but I don't feel like even that's correct. So what he said in that part, I didn't really like. But I do like how he did change in that scene as well. And I liked how when the Doctor worked out he was one of the gods, I loved how the Doctor's tone and everything changed as well, and how he got very serious, like he did in the Devil's Call as well. So that was really nice to see, and all of that was quite cool. Just a small thing to note as well, I really liked how we had the flashbacks to the gods, of course, Sutekh, Maestro and the Toymaker, and I do like how Lux actually did say that the reason that the other gods saved him for Lux was because he was someone made out of light, of course, regeneration, and I really do like how regeneration played quite a big sort of part of this episode, which was really unexpected as well. I really did like that. I hope it's not obviously going to be sort of like foreshadowing of the future episode at the end of the series where regeneration will play another part. Let's hope Ncuti doesn't regenerate just yet, but I do like how that was a sort of surprise with all the regeneration, so yeah, that was really cool. Now, of course, earlier I did say it was slightly overhyped, but what I do agree with the sort of pre-release press releases of the reviews of the episode is that this episode did give us quite a few emotional, sad scenes. I would say the first one was when we learned about the caretaker's wife. I really liked how she came out the screen and was black and white and then became colour. I thought that was really sad, and I really liked how he sacrificed himself at the end and how it was his wife who gave him the matches. That was one of the first sad scenes. Then I'd say the second was, of course, when we had the Doctor Who fans, which I'll be going into in a bit, but that was really sad as well. And a nice scene that I mentioned earlier, but also sad as well, was when the sort of mum reunited with her son. So this episode gave me about 3 times where I felt quite sad, so it really did well to sort of bring out the emotion, really. I've got to say as well, we were expecting it, but I really did love the scene where the Doctor and Belinda became cartoon characters. I thought that was done so well and so enjoyable, and I loved how they were becoming three-dimensional by mentioning all the sad things. I loved how it sort of helped them openly express how they're feeling, how the Doctor's worried about Earth and what happened to Gallifrey and all that sort of thing. So I really liked how that happened as well, and I liked how after they sort of thought they got out of the film, they went to the cinema and then there was that racist scene with the police officer. Again, racism not being a main part of the episode but playing a part in it. I thought that was done so well and I did fall for it. So that was really cool, and that was the first time we were misled. Then of course the second time we were misled was obviously when they come out the TV, and I was so shocked when I saw the fans there with the scarf, the mugs, the t-shirts, the merchandise, online leaks and hashtag RIP Doctor Who being mentioned. All of that I was in complete shock, and I thought, wow, what are they doing with this? Is Doctor Who finally sort of admitting that it's a TV show? So again, we were misled, and I loved how they done that. I loved how everyone was saying their favourite episode was Blink, and the Doctor was trying to convince them to be one of his episodes. All of that was absolutely mad, and it was just like, what the actual hell? Even seeing the logo actually in Doctor Who in the episode was insane. So that was really, really cool. And that's what I also loved about this episode as well. It was like one of those dreams where you keep waking up but you're still in the dream. I loved how they were sort of doing that effect as well, so that was really cool. And just as a note as well, Amy's theme did play quite a few times. I believe it's Amy's theme played quite a few times in this episode, which helped to sort of ramp up the emotion as well, so I'm really glad they added that in as well. Of course, when they finally escaped, the Doctor's hand got burnt, and it was interesting how the Doctor said he had some regeneration energy left over from bi-generation. Again, hopefully that's not foreshadowing of a future episode where the Doctor does regenerate, but who knows. And also when, obviously, Lux was using the regeneration energy to sort of become 3D, I really liked how they animated him and how his eyes were like red and bulbous and he just looked really ugly. I thought that was really cool as well. And what I did like as well is when the sun finally hit Lux and he expanded so much so he became bigger than the universe and sort of went outside the universe. That was quite a good ending to Lux. Although I do feel like we didn't see enough of Lux in this episode. I feel like there was too much going on in just a 46-minute space. If it was like an hour or so, then they could have fleshed out a few more things. Could have had another few scenes with Lux. I would love to see a few more scenes with the caretaker, because although we did get a backstory, I don't feel like we got to sort of know him enough really. So yeah, it could have done with a bit longer being of an episode. But that was really cool. And of course at the end, what a twist, Mrs. Flood being there, saying limited time run 24th of May. How does she travel in time, and how does she know this? I'm so looking forward to finding out at the end of the series. And also have to admit, just as I thought the episode ended, I did get fooled once more. I thought it was the voiceover talking, but then obviously the camera turns away from the title sequence, and then we see the three fans again. That was really nice how they survived it as well, so I'm glad they survived. But again, I thought the episode was over, and it turns out it wasn't, so yeah, a really nice touch. Now, I've got to be honest, upon second rewatch, I did enjoy it more. However, I do still feel it's slightly overhyped. I am going to give it a solid 7.5 out of 10. Of course, I gave Robot Revolution 8, but I just really enjoyed Robot Revolution. And while Lux did some really great things, did some things Doctor has never done before, and it is a really enjoyable episode, I just don't enjoy it much as Robot Revolution, so it has to just be down slightly from it, so I'm going to give it a 7.5 out of 10. I'm also looking forward to next week's episode. I'm going to be doing a video on my theory on next week's episode very, very soon, so make sure to subscribe to see that. But what I'd love to know is what your thoughts on the episode are. Did you enjoy it? Did you enjoy it more than me, or weren't you a fan? I'd love to know, so let me know in the comments below. As always, thank you so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed the video, and hopefully see you in my next video soon. Have a great Easter and take care.